Hi, my name is Ivan and I recently set out on a pilgrimage in the pursuit of greater game design skills and knowledge. The idea is to make games as fast as possible, ideally within 30 working days each.
3-0, cry.
The goal of the schedule is to reduce procrastination, learn more about making games, experiment with many genres, and maybe find the type of games that works well for both me and the players. Plus, I really enjoy working on minigames. Since they take so little time to make, I can quickly turn many game ideas into reality and always look forward to the next journey, instead of looking at the same product for a very long period of time, which usually gives me nothing but anxiety. And here's the first game I made with this approach. Meet RunBean Galactic, an infinite arcade runner that will test your coordination, reaction time and attentiveness with headers and bonuses that randomly appear around a dangerous planet. If you'd like to give it a go, the game is available on Steam for less than a quarter of the cheapest coffee in Starbucks. And in this devlog I'll show you how it was made from start to finish. The very first thing I try to focus on is the most important part of the gameplay. In a runner game that means running and jumping. Simple. I doubt that you can make a very interesting runner with just one button without any variations, so I introduced another one, crouching. Now, as you quickly approach the hazards, you need to think which one to press, which creates danger and the possibility of failure. But how would the players know if they did well or not? One of the oldest answers to this question is a score system. The reference point is always your own skill. You start from zero and compete against your own high score. Nice! As I kept thinking about the game, I had to figure out what creature or what sort of a character can run and crouch at the same speed, quickly switching between the two states. The best idea that came to my mind at the time was just a sphere with legs, so I guess now I have my own version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Alright, 2 buttons are a good start, but the game is still too easy. In order to make it more challenging, I decided to periodically disorient the players with a reverse direction pickup, which isn't so much hard as it is panic-inducing, which usually leads to mistakes. With these 3 basic hazards at hand, it was time to put them on a player's path in a random order, to make their experience different every time they press the play button. While I enjoy the idea of making a game where everything is a punishing stick to beat players with, I had to think about some carrots too. This little bonus that can randomly replace one of the hazards serves 2 purposes. 1, if you're lucky, you can reach the high score faster, and 2, it's just a breezing room where you don't have to worry about anything and can prepare for the next obstacle. In order to add more variety to the gameplay, I introduced a new object combo, a shield and a wall that you need to break with it. I made it so that if you lost a shield on another obstacle before the wall, there would be a 50% chance that another shield would spawn on your path. The other 50%, however, meant imminent death. And players found that concept confusing, unfair and unpleasant. But more on that later. Before polishing the art or adding details, I had to make sure that the silhouettes of the hazards are clear and different from each other, so I removed the old particles and replaced them with highlights. After that, I was ready to draw the islands that imitate a rotating planet. This is the main decoration of the game and also its focal point, so I had to make sure I was happy with the way it looked. And to enhance the feeling of a vast, dark space, I added 3 layers of rotating stars, which also serve as a frame that helps player focus on the center of the screen where the action takes place. What's even more important is that these stars appeared at the right time, at the time when I spent quite a few hours playing the game and its difficulty started to feel trivial to me. I was already experimenting with a nightmare mode which had more obstacles located closer to each other, but it was initially just turned on after staying alive for too long, without any visual changes. As I was drawing the stars, I thought that it would be cool to have some clouds around the planet too. And with that came the day and night cycle, which now is my favorite feature in this game. At this point I consider the gameplay part of RunBean Galactic pretty much finished, so I started working on the menu, in my favorite style of course. As with most of my latest products, it shows the players what the game will be like to play and teaches them to interact with it through an AI that does what they will have to do as soon as they press the start button. I thought that I would leave it like that, but when I was listening to the awesome menu track Hypersleep created, I couldn't help but feel the angelic vibes and calmness. They inspired me to make a white planet and a white sky, but later I scrapped that idea and just made the menu desaturated, which might represent the life without a challenge. And as soon as you start playing and land on a dangerous, unexplored planet, the colors seep back into your reality along with an exciting soundtrack. If I remember correctly, at this point in development the game still had no sound effects, so I recorded the videos of events and animations that should have them, turned on the Reaper and got to work. I still had no idea what I was doing, but the process was a bit faster, easier and more fun than when I tried to make sound effects for the previous game. Remember what I said about the carrots and the motivation in the way of competing with your own high score? Well, if you combine these two together, you get rewards for spending time in your game. Usually, roguelite or arcade games like this one remember your efforts and reward you for them. In RunBean Galactic, every time you score above 5 points, your result is saved as a currency for purchasing new in-game skins, which also awards Steam achievements. And just like that, the game was done, so I released it and waited. The first crucial feedback came from Rose Tinted Spectrum, who found 2 rare bugs that would kill the player without giving them any chances to leave. Another one was a video from Defund Games, in which, among other comments, the creator expressed their dissatisfaction with the shield and wall combo. What clicked with me is that they mentioned that it should feel like a bonus, a safety insurance, and it just doesn't. Moreover, knowing that losing it means you're almost guaranteed to die makes running forward after you do lose it daunting and also pointless. Therefore, this combo was replaced with 2 different ones, namely Key and Lock and Bomb and Wall, which are much easier to understand and provide more gameplay value. With these in the game, the set is complete. There are now bonuses that need you to either jump, stand up or do nothing to collect, and hazards that you need to either jump, roll or do nothing to avoid. Thanks to that, the 2 buttons you can use to control RunBean can give you 6 different ways to react to an object that spawned in front of you. I think that's what people usually call easy to learn and hard to master. All in all, I'm glad that I spent some extra time on this update, because now I feel like the game is truly finished, and I don't want to change anything else about it. And that's it for this devlog. If you'd like to follow my journey and get regular reports about the games I'm working on, I cordially invite you to join our community on Patreon. For as little as $1 per month, you can learn how much money my games made, how much time I spent on them, and much more. And if you are still here, thank you for watching this video. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Farewell.